ALS is a rare disease with a devastatingly certain outcome.
You're just going to slowly die. You are willing to try just about anything.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dane Goodnow, neuroscientist and inventor. Stopping the progression of ALS actually isn't that hard.
He promises clients that symptoms will stop progressing within weeks and then they'll start getting better.
You're not going to die of ALS in our care. That's just the God's honest truth.
Just so exploitive, just phenomenally exploitive that it's hard not, to feel the rage.
Well into his 60s, Jeff Sandos was game for almost anything. He's the father of two, the founder and CEO of multiple companies, and an avid golfer.
I started noticing that he was walking kind of strange.
And after months of testing and poking and prodding, Jeff's neurologist called a meeting. That was just over 1 year ago.
It was pretty devastating when he tells you you have something that there is no cure for. And you're just going to slowly die. That was traumatic.
Over the next few months, he and his family researched and tried many options. Then one of his caregivers recommended the Dr. Goodnow Restorative Health Center in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Doctors are saying, yes, sell your home if you have to. Get there.
Dan Goodnow is not a medical doctor, but he does have a PhD in medical science, focused on psychiatry. He's a listed author on dozens of academic articles on a range of topics from cancer to Alzheimer's. Goodnow claims he can restore health to people suffering from those conditions. Goodnow's program is built around plasmalogens, fats which form a crucial part of the cell membrane. They offered Jeff their 4-month program to set him on the path to recovery. The first 3 months would be spent here at the Dr. Goodnow Restorative Health Center in Moose Jaw, where he'd receive large doses of Goodnow's plasmalogens along with many other supplements, all in a community with other ALS clients.
It's not a fancy place. We call this place boot camp. This is rehab.
The final month, the patient would spend at home receiving the supplements and support from Goodnow's staff. Total cost of the program, $75,000 US. Jeff and Teresa were sold, and in September of 2024, they got on a plane and headed for Moose Jaw.
Welcome to the Restorative Health Center here in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
This building right on the edge of town used to be a hotel and then, more recently, a drug rehab center. Now it houses people who are hoping to recover from their debilitating diseases. The only way to get to the second floor are these stairs.
People say, Dan, when are you going to put an elevator in your facility?
But he says the stairs are part of the program, an incentive to recover.
They'll come in not being able to walk or basically being able to get out of a wheelchair. And the goal is within 3 months is to get them walking upstairs.
Goodnow put Jeff and all of the other ALS patients on a daily protocol of supplements, including his patented plasmalogens. A handout lists the pills they were supposed to take. At the bottom was a footnote. This is a self-directed program.
I went to him because he's the supposedly neuroscientist.
For decades, Dr. Goodnow has been developing supplements and a program that he says will halt and reverse the progress of ALS symptoms, which is something no other scientist that we've found has claimed. And then he tells patients they're supposed to develop a program of their own.
He wants to avoid the claim that he's providing medicine. Right. And his defense will be, well, I'm not acting. I'm just providing these people with information and they're doing it themselves. If this individual really could do this, I promise you, we would hear about it. Right. This secret treatment would not be secret.
The ALS Society of Canada says the disease is not curable and the known treatments do not significantly alter the progression of the disease.
There is not yet a lot of information or data to suggest that plasmalogens is a known effective treatment for ALS.
Have you done any studies that would demonstrate that you can halt or reverse the progress of ALS in patients? Any published studies?
Not published at this point in time.
He points to patients who are feeling better.
Seriously, within the first week, I don't know if it was psychosomatic, but I had recovered the last movements that I had lost, a couple weeks prior to that.
Goodnow also highlights Corey Mitchell's story.
The disease has completely stopped, and I'm now starting to feel like time is on my side.
What conclusion, scientifically, do you draw from Corey's story?
Clearly, the progression, the actual progression of the disease can be stopped. Fundamentally, unambiguously, his progression stopped.
Jennifer Hoff is Corey Mitchell's partner. She went to Moose Jaw with him and she watched him improve. She says it may have been due to Goodnow's supplements, but it could also have been his improved diet and reduced stress.
But he literally told him, you've beat ALS, you're in recovery phase. Now we just have to work on building your muscles.
You were able to stop and then reverse the progression.
Correct.
And how's he doing now?
He's not doing well. He died about a year ago.
Corey passed away on October 21st, 2024, about 8 months after leaving the Moose Jaw program.
I called. I left urgent messages. Nothing. Not even a phone call back.
Though Goodnow hadn't seen Corey for months prior to his death, he is certain of one thing.
What he died from wasn't from ALS progression. He died from other causes.
That's a flat out lie. I was there when he died. I held his hand. I watched him die.
Corey's testimonial video remains on Goodnow's website.
His caregiver said he declined and died of ALS. All of Corey's improvements, all of the work that he put through to make himself better was all bullshit. That's what you're saying to me right now. You're saying Corey is a lie. You're saying that man's effort, you are basically pissing on his grave, Jeff. And it's really, really disturbing to me.
We absolutely need to have the regulatory mechanisms, the policy levers to stop this kind of thing.
Goodnow's not a medical doctor, so he's not under the jurisdiction of the College of Physicians and Surgeons. But Health Canada has weighed in. It says Goodnow's plasmalogens have not undergone the required safety testing. It says a recent investigation found that his company had been importing, advertising, and selling unauthorized natural health products here in Canada. Now, Health Canada says in a follow-up conversation, Goodnow's company has agreed to change its ways. Goodnow says it was all just a misunderstanding. He says while companies can't import these products, individual customers are allowed to bring in a limited supply for themselves. Jeff Sando is now back in California with his family. He says he used Goodnow's plasmalogens faithfully for months.
After 5 months, it seemed like it was picking up pace, not slowing down.
Now he's being cared for by his wife and adult children. He said he spent all that time and money in the hopes that it was an investment.
Instead of 2 years with my kids, I would have 15, 20 years with my kids. And get to see my grandchildren. Be able to walk my daughter down the aisle. I don't know if I'll get to do any